Okay. So we're just going to be starting with standing work today. I probably did standing work for most of the session, not all of it. But let's begin by just taking your TheraBand. And then you can hold it so that the band falls right below your knees. Feet will be apart, maybe 4 to 6 inches apart, maybe the outer width of your hips. And where you hold the band may be dependent on like the strength of the band and the length of your arms, and also your flexibility. So you can always like pay it out to make the band lower and less strong. You can also choke it up to be sure that you feel that work in your shoulders. So we're just beginning by pulling the band apart as you bring it forward and watching your wrists are straight. And then you lift the band up overhead. Now at this point, you're going to take the band behind you, stretch out into the arms, and lower it behind your body. So if you feel tight, you want a little looser band. If you feel like it's not working you into your shoulders, you want to tighten it up. So it goes back. So basically the band is drawing a huge circle around the top of your body. And you bring it down. And this is a great exercise to do where you rotate it up. Thank you so much, right? And also to open your chest. But the other thing you want to be aware of is that as you bring the band forward and up, it should be parallel to the ground. So that is showing that the arms are working at the same level, going all the way around. And when you bring it behind you, there'll be a tendency to stick the belly forward and arch. Don't fall into that trap, but keep your belly pulled in a little bit and bring the arms down and behind you, keeping that vertical spine without overarching the lumbar curve. So we'll do it again. Feels good for everyone? Yes? So you take it back. We all tend to be a little tight in the chest, and this is a chance to open it up. If you're not feeling enough of a stretch, choke up on the band a bit more, right? So reach out. And if and when you have the chance to do it at home, I really recommend doing it in front of the mirror so you can see that your arms are the same height as you circle, but the band stays parallel to the ground at all times, except of course when you let it fall, like the beginning and end of the movement. So reach it up, stretch, open your chest. Have a good morning stretch in the middle of the day. And here we go again. Forward, around, and down. And we'll do just one more here. And you feel that it's getting a little easier as you continue. And then one more, taking it back, up, around, down, and forward. And then why don't you hold on to it with your right hand, so I'll be mirroring to you. And then you drop the free end to the ground and you step onto it with the ball of your foot. And we're going to sort of wrap this around your hand maybe once. And then you'll take it so the band is on the outside of the upper arm. You really want to be near the end of this. Well, it depends on your height, right? And the length of the band. But now we're punching the fist up, keep a straight wrist. Push your hip out into the band and side bend over. You can bend the knee on the side that you're leaning into. And let your free arm dangle here and reach for the floor. And then just really enjoy that side bend stretch. And we're going to pull up slowly, send into your right foot, come up gradually, and then the arm is still facing, palm facing to your side. Bring it down. The elbow comes down sort of in line with your armpit. And we're going to do this again. So punch up, push your hip into the band. It's your own personal racing strike. You can dive over and stretch away. And then lift to pull up. Keep reaching up into the hand as you bend the elbow down. This band is still falling like between the elbow and the shoulder as you come down. And we'll do one more on this side. So going up. And over here, reach out, stretch. Even think that your head and your neck are creating a side bend curve as well. Keep reaching for your bottom arm as you pull up, so create a little resistance on the lift. And then you can bring the arm down slowly enough that you feel that you're working against it, not just taking the ride through the pull of the strap. Wonderful. And now stand, you should feel a little longer on that side compared to the other. And then, let's see if I can straighten this out. And you want to step onto it with your left foot, my right, trying to mirror you. And then again. And I recommend that if you have, a lot of excess band, just try to grab it in your hand. So we punch up now. We push the hip out into the band. Side bend stretch, really reach out long here. Your other hand reaches for the ground. Pull it up slowly, coming up. And then the elbow bends down. And you have the choice, right? If you want this to be a little stronger, you just choke up on it. If you want it to be a little lighter in pull, you pay it out more. Do your own custom fit with their bend. And lift to come up. And bring it on back. And we do one more. Pushes out, you stretch, you reach down with your fingers to the ground. Your ear is tipping to the floor like it's trying to listen to a sound. And then you come up and bring that down again. Good. Now, from here, let's see. So if these are long enough, we can stand and do it. Otherwise, we'll go to our knees. So let's put the center of the band on the floor. Stand on it with both feet. And then, turn the palms back, the thumbs are in. You can also choke up on the band if you want it to be a little more taut. We have elephants in the next room. So let's slide this back, reach all the way back, and see if you can feel that work into your tricep, into your lat, and across the front of the belly. And then bring it forward. And then take it back, press back. Now wrists are straight. As you reach behind you, feel you're opening your chest as the top of the shoulders roll forward. I'm just trying to see hold it here. And then we'll bring it forward. Now we'll take it back. And hold it here, straight wrist. Palms are facing up and behind you. We're going to pulse up 8 times, reaching 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reach, hold. Exhale. The belly pulls deep, navel to spine as you bring the arms down. And let's do that again. Press back, reach back, and pulse 1 on the lift, 2 on the lift, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. And exhale, bring it back, nice and slow. Good. Now let's maybe hold it a little higher up. Now your palms are up, and you may want to curl the knuckles up a little bit so you stay out of your wrist here. Anchor your elbows in by your waist, and just pull the band up, and then come down slowly. So you don't want to just drop it. You want to try to resist the pull of the straps on the way down. You feel that? So you're working your bicep on the way down. Hopefully a little bit more than on the way up, so that you can come up as slowly as you can. And then you pause, and then you exhale and bring it down as slowly as possible. Keep the knuckles curved up just a little bit so the strength of the band doesn't take you into wrist extension and drive you into your carpal tunnel, right? So we're coming up. And exhale, release it down. Doing good? One more. And release, take your time. Work against the pull. Wonderful. You got your arms, spaghetti arms. And now we're doing this again, but we'll do reciprocal. So as one goes up, the other is held just in tension. And then we're going to switch them. They pass in mid-stride, sort of. And working here, super slow, like you're in a dream. It's a good one. And moving here, take your time. Stand tall, chest wide open. Really ground through your feet. You're going to feel equal weight on the inner and outer edges of each foot. But even slower. Try to do that too. And we'll bring both hands up and then slowly bring both hands down. Great. And then we can step off of this. And let's just put it aside for now. Okay. So next, a little balance work for us. We're going to use the roller and massage out the soles of the feet so that when we actually get to the one-legged balance work, your feet are going to be a little prepared for that. So you may want to go by a wall, you know, where you could hold on to something, a good idea, or use the left turn over there. Or, you know, even you could use the chair. It's just not as stable as the wall would be. So you would hold on to whatever it is you're working on, step up. If anyone wants me to come over and step. Yeah. So one foot is up first. And then you would take the other foot up as well and have your feet maybe 4 to 5 inches apart. Look straight ahead and find a focal point with your eyes. Now just standing here, can you feel like the weight of your arches sinking into the roller? Yep. Oh, and Naomi, maybe just throw the strap on the floor. Yeah, you don't need that right now. Good. And then if you want, you can slide the heels down slightly for a nice calf stretch. But try to keep your torso where it is. And then keeping your torso where it is, slide the toes down just a little bit, rolling more towards the back of the arch of the feet. And then you bring the heels down again. And forward, massage this out. Yep. Don't make the movement too big, particularly forward. And if you feel like you're too close or too far away from your support, step off and reset the roller. I would stay on the arch and not go onto the balls of the feet or the toes. So you're really working the middle of the foot. By releasing this plantar fascia, the whole foot and even like the whole leg is going to feel much more relaxed and much more open. Okay, and then coming back to center, you can shift your weight a little bit into your right foot. And only if you feel comfortable with this, pick up your left foot and press the edges of your calf together. The left hip is down so that you sort of imagine that there's still an invisible foot under your left side. And I wouldn't roll, I would just stay there and really feel the pressure of the roller up into the foot and the pressure of the foot down into the roller. And then let's switch your legs, shifting the left foot down, center it there. And once you feel like you're steady, you can pull the right foot up and press the edge of the calf to the edge of the calf so that the knee is forward and the heel is back. So you have sort of balanced the weight of that right leg. Front back. And we'll stay here, take a breath and chin. And then back to both feet. You might find a place on the roller that you haven't squashed. they get a little flat. And then just do the slight rolling to get the calf stretch and rolling forward. See if the feet feel a little less tight, a little bit more supple. And then still holding on, step off with one foot and then the other one. Okay. And we'll flip this up because you may want to use this as something you can use for balance. So if you think your balance might need a little assist, you can always have yourself between the roller and the back of the chair, or the roller and a wall, or whatever you've got, right? So a lot of times balance is a good idea to do it in the doorway so you can hold onto the door frame if you need it. And let's use the ball here above your ankles. Do a little bit of standing footwork. and you want to squeeze the ball here above the ankle bones. Yep. And legs in parallel, feet in parallel. So first, you're going to bend your knees, lift the tail up behind you like a happy dog, and see if you can feel your sits bones lift and spread behind you. And your body's still sort of vertical, right? And then as you push to the floor, you come up to standing. Simple, right? So we're bending the knees. You go down, keeping your heels grounded. You might feel the stretch in the calves. I'm feeling my legs are tight. Push to come up. I've been sitting at a desk. Maybe you can all sympathize. For the training program I'm in on sensory perception. And it's requiring a lot more sitting than I'm used to. And then come on up. And take it down. And lift. Okay. Now, next we're going up into releve, which is meaning we're going to lift the heels. There'll be a slight shift of your weight forward. You can bring the arms out to the side to help you find the balance. Now really squeeze the ball in and be sure that you have weight onto the big toe and the big toe ball of the foot and then lower it down. So tight, and we do that again. So your weight goes forward maybe, I'm guessing maybe 3-5 degrees. And still lift up through your halo. Try to imagine you're being pulled by a string from the ceiling. And then you're going to pull the string down as you lower the heels with control. So it's not just a plop, plop, right? We're actually going to work the feet in both directions. Lift again. And again, you may find it helpful to bring the arms up and out. As you lift, it's like the outriggers on a canoe. And then coming back down. A lot of times when people go up onto this releve position, they'll feel their ankles want to go out as they're taking weight into the outside of the leg. That's really helpful. Try to really squeeze it in. And as you rise again over time, really feel that you're squeezing the ball, pulling the inner thighs towards each other. Okay, up to stand on the balls of your feet and lower with control. Yes, so you got your hips, even here with the ball. Now, we're going to go into a little deeper knee fold. So we'll start the way we began earlier, bending the knees. So I just turned so you can see me, but you can just turn sideways too. So you would go down with the heels still flat. You'll be holding on here. Then you lift the heels and punch the knees forward, but your hips have not lifted any. Your gaze on the horizon hasn't changed. And then let's just lower the heels, the legs are straight. So from the side, your head and your hips are still in the same position. You just lift the heels and pull the knees forward so you have more flexion of the hip at the knee. And then lower down. Try it if you want, hands free. So we're going to actually first bend the knees down. Start a little lower than we were. Pull the heels up. Squeeze the ball. Lower the heels down and then straighten your legs. So we bend at the ankle, at the knee, at the hip. And then you push the heels up, you push the knees forward. Find the inner edges of your legs and then lower the heels down and then straighten. Really nice. Turn so I can admire you more. And one more time, going down, heels up. Perfect. Down with the heels, straight in. And now we add the releve, the lift up. So here we go. So we bend the knees, keep the heels down, push the knees forward. Straighten the legs going up. And then lower the heels down. Excellent. So bend the knees. Anyone sweating yet? You lift the heels, the knees go forward. And the toes grip, you've gone too far. And then straighten the legs, roll the bed. And the heels down. And one more time. Bend. Knees forward. Inner thigh. Lift. And down. And here we go to the reverse. So weight shifts forward, up to releve. Bend your knees. The knees are forward. The heels are still up. Lower the heels down and then straighten your legs. And up again. Your knees bend forward, heels still off the ground. Now the heels go down and you straighten. Last one. Lift as high as you can. Bend the knees forward. Heels down and straighten. Excellent. All right. So we can take the ball out, lift to the side, and we want to now be in a place where we can see the seat, because we're going to take one leg up on the seat of the chair. Again, if you want, you can have your roller stacked at your side with something to give you a little bit of extra support, or you can be near a wall. And we're going to stand up now, and let's just take one leg. I'm going to make it my left today for a change. So start with your legs and turn out, so you'll see the toes apart. A little external rotation with the leg. And then you'll pick up your left leg and extend the foot onto the chair seat. You rotate that leg a little externally as well, and pull the hips down and back. So why don't you try bring yourself forward a bit so you can be like between the roller and the medium. So you have a little more, it's harder for you because this is higher if you're a more petite person, right? So yeah, I would recommend either that or being by the wall, just you're a little steadier there. So we're just gonna start. So you can take the arms forward, look down, gaze to the inside of the leg, your head goes down your neck. We do a roll down here to reach down to touch, if you can, the seat. Now, if you find that's really challenging in your back or your hamstrings, you can always bend the knee a little bit. Or if you want, you could reach for the chair seat, and you might have to. I don't necessarily recommend hopping on one leg, but you could even take like the upper part of your foot against the back of the chair, and then you might be able to reach for the chair back. Whatever you're doing. We've been down here for a little bit, so now we're going to press the both feet and stack the spine up. More challenge, so lift the arms higher, it raises your center of balance. More challenge to lift the eyes and the chest up. You can always just go to looking straight ahead or even down, if that's better for you. Now we'll start to look down, bend through the neck, the upper back, the mid back, the low back. Pull your belly up into your spine as you dive over. Bring your hands to touch the seat of the chair or along your leg. And then we're coming back up. Think about having an invisible leg under the butt cheek of the leg that's lifted. Come up. Changing your focal point makes it more difficult. It's more of a challenge. Keeping your gaze at one point gives you a little bit more stability. So you decide. And we're going over one last time. Curve down here. Again, bend your lifted knee as you need to, but still feel the stretch in the back of the leg and your hamstrings. And then you press through your feet, both of them, the standing leg and the one that's on the chair. And bring that up. And then we can lower the arms down and we'll slide that foot off. And I recommend after doing like one leg, that you may want to do something really silly looking, like bend your knees and shake them like jello, because that relaxes the muscle of your standing leg with the knee on the outside. You can also just stand, if you don't want to look quite that silly, you can just like swing your hips from side to side, but gradually it's a little more subtle, a little more suave, right? So there you go. So now let's take the other leg up. Both legs in a little external rotation, and the arms go forward. They can go up or they can stay down for easier balance. And then we look down and you curve the head forward, out and away from your shoulders. The head leaves the spine and then arc forward and down. You can rest your fingertips on the chair seat or somewhere on your leg or on the wall next to you, right? And then we're coming back up. The tail drops down. Like a kangaroo's tail, strong enough to stand on. And you can come up and take a little lift here with the eyes, with the heart, shoulder blades fall, and we go over again. Then curve your way down. You get that lovely stretch here into the low back. If it feels like it's too much, bend your knees slightly, soften the stretch. And we're coming up again. And then one more time. Let your head hang low, let sort of traction out your neck. The shoulder blades can fall forward a little bit and then drop around towards the front of your chest. And notice maybe as you lift, the different positions of the shoulder blades on your back. As the lips lift, the blades change their position. There's no holding them, just let them move in relationship to your body. And come center and we lower the arms. That did really well. So proud of yourself, right? It's like that is a challenge to do a one-legged balance and move, right? So now we're coming, I think we're gonna sit on the chair now for the piriformis stretch. It can be done with like the leg up like so and out this way, but I feel like you have less cheating with the movement if you sit. So I'm just gonna turn this so I can face you, and you can sit anywhere. So you want to sit upright, maybe a little closer to the front of the chair seat. And let's pull your right knee up and just hug it into your body. Like give your low back a little bit of a stretch. Shoulders are dropping. You can look down your midline. And then let's rotate the leg from the hip out to the side, flex the foot, and rest it on the other leg. Now, if this is a lot, because on my other side it's going to be a lot, you can straighten the supporting leg forward, and that allows you to lower the leg. Whichever you choose, you still want to have both of your sit bones equally denting the chair seat, right? So what you don't want to do is lean this way to lower the knee down, right? My body loves to cheat on this exercise, so I'm sure other people have the same issue. So we sit nice and upright. Try to lift your tail up behind you. Open the pelvic floor by spreading the sits bones. And now that you're nice and tall, think of your body as a plank. Hinge forward, lift your tail behind you, and feel that stretch across the diagonal of your glute increase. Everyone feel that? And think about your body being a plank initially, and then if you want, you can lower chin to chest and drop the upper body like you're in an upper curl and go lower. But for me, just like leaning forward in the plank gives me more stretch laterally across the glute, which is really what I need. So you can choose what feels like the most stretch available for your body. But try to pull your chest forward and maybe push the leg back a little bit into the socket. You can also take your forearm, do not press directly on the knee itself, but you can take the forearm across the angle between the shin and the thigh, and then push that down to get a little bit more opening at the hip and a little bit more drop through your right leg. You know what I'm saying? So like I push down here, yep. But instead of using my hand, I want to lean forward and use my forearm, but do what works for your proportions, right? Now we can also rock the knees a little bit side to side to increase the stretch diagonal into your glute. And then we'll come center, come upright. Now pick up the knee because you don't want to torque the lower leg. So the lower part of the leg moves with the upper one as you unwind at your hip and then lower the foot down. All right. Feels different, right? Like you've got two different hips attached to your body. Which sometimes it feels like that way before you start too. So anyway, either start with both knees bent. If you think this leg is tighter, you might want to extend the leg forward. And then we'll pull the left knee up into your chest. Get in. And then we're rotating from the hip socket here to open the knee out to the side, foot is flexed and on the other thigh. And I know I'm leaning into the side because I want this leg to go lower, but I'm trying to keep weight into my opposite sits bones so my body's still vertical, And that could already be a stretch. Yes. So like for me, my leg is forward and down. This side is a lot tighter. So whatever works for your body is what you're doing. So you lift up, you lift the tail behind you, you hinge. The pelvic girdle is rocking forward on the femurs and bringing the spine with it. So I'm not letting the pelvis stay vertical and then bending at my waist. I'm trying to think of like a plank or a yardstick from back of my skull to my tailbone, and then lean forward with that still on my body. And then if you want, you can take the forearm and take it across the angle here at the left leg. Everyone feeling a stretch that maybe you haven't felt in a while? Maybe you're wondering why you have to feel that stretch now. And then we'll rock a little bit side to side. Maybe pull the chest forward as you reach the head out on the diagonal. And then stack your spine coming up. You'll pick up the knee, unwind the leg from the hip, and then lower it down. Let's come up and stand. And just see if you're already feeling a difference in your low back and your hips. So move a little bit so you can tell. And then we're going to continue here. All right, so this is coming like so. We're moving into a lunge. So we're going to step back a little bit because we would like to get a stretch in the hamstring and in the calf on the back leg, actually. So this time, have the feet in parallel. And we'll pick up the left foot. You can go to the edge of the chair. And then you lean forward, keeping your back leg as straight as you can, and go down. Maybe bring your hands to the chair, either the back or in the front, depending on where your position is. And definitely push down through your back heel. Get to a place where you feel a nice stretch in that right calf. Everyone there? And then we're just going to swing the tail a little bit side to side. So you get a stretch lateral to medial on that right calf. And then come center. Now keeping your back heel down, that right foot rounded, slightly bend your right knee directly over the center of the right foot, and then straighten the leg again. So we want to go as far forward as we need to. The leg barely bends and straightens, but see if you feel that the stretch goes up and down your calf, right? So when I bend the knee, I feel it in the lower calf, that's your soleus. When I straighten it, I feel it in the upper calf, that's your gastrocnemius. And we want to stretch both of the calf muscles here. While we're in this bit of a lunge. Okay? And then you can reach your hip back. Get a little stretch here into your back and the hamstring. I'm holding on to the very edge of the chair seat with my fingertips, and my head is down. Both legs are straight. Let's lunge forward again. Lift the chest a little this time and look up and away. The blades pull down your back. So keep the calf stretch behind you. And then bring your hips back. Just stretch the front leg. The one that's lifted. And take it forward one more time. Lunge. Shoulders sink behind you. And one more time to stretch. Now never force it, right? We don't want to feel a strain in the back of the knee. It's great to feel a little bit of a stretch, but the stretch should mainly be in the muscles. Okay, so bend the knee, come upright, and then lower the hips down. So your hips side to side, just like prance in place, like a show pony going into the Devon or show ring. And there we go. We're standing now on the left foot and bringing the right foot up. And you could have the standing leg in a little bit of turn out or parallel, whichever you prefer. The front one in parallel. So we're going to lunge in first. Lean forward, so you're getting flexion at the ankle, at the knee, at the hip. But our real goal here is to get the calf stretch on the back leg, on the left leg. You'll feel that? And there, right? You can adjust your foot, or you can change the angle of your lunge forward to feel that. Now here, now that we've had a moment or two with that stretch, we're going to swing the hips side to side. It's not violent, it's very small. Calf's not that wide, right? As you wag your tail from one side to the other, you'll feel the shift in weight in the foot, and you should feel the stretch from the inner to outer edge of your calf. And then we're going to keep that heel down, your center, so that we bend your left knee and straighten it. Gently stretch the calf, go up and down the lower leg. Okay, and then here we brought the hip back. Just stretch the front leg. And then we drive the knee forward. Just stretch the calf again. Pick up your eyes, pick up your chest. And then we can push back like so. And forward again. Press back one more time. And then forward. And then you can press your front foot to come up and lower that foot down. And again, so you can start ready to shift your weight from one side to the other. Think of like a horse-headed stall, you're just kind of moving here, working different muscles, feeling different weight for your legs. All right, excellent. So next we're going into some on the side. So you're going to be turning to face, well, you're not facing the chair, you're facing the chairs in front of you and to your side. Right, so standing behind it. And you could, again, you could use this to sort of support yourself. As you pick up, so pick up my right leg and take it over. Both legs and turn out. And this one's now out to the side and you go in front of you. Good. So the leg, if the right leg is up, lift the left arm, or vice versa, right? And then we're going to side bend in the direction that the leg is pointing. Really to the side, but to that side, right? And you can press your hand into your leg for a little bit of stability, and then push down through your feet, down through your hand on your leg to lift up. And then let's bring the hand either lightly on the roller or over, bringing the hand to cup in front of your belly. You can press the arm into the hip or the side of your leg as you go over and really stretch. And then come upright, arms can extend, and we go over to the other side. So the flow here, move here. And then you lift coming up, and we go over again. Tip your head, be sure you're side bending your neck as well as your spine. And then pull, hip, waist, ribs, close one by one, coming upright. And we'll do one more time here. If you press down a little bit with your hand onto the leg, you might feel a little bit more stretch on the upper inner thigh muscles. Just don't push on the knee itself, push above it. And then lift to come up, and one more away from the chair. Eyes forward. And then come upright. And we'll lower the leg. You could just turn around. I'm going to move the chair so I can still see you all. You want to be a similar distance away from the chair. And then we'll bring the leg up and externally rotate the leg. And we start side bending towards the chair. And then zip your sideline up the wall. Coming up, arms extend, one hand down, curve the hand in front of your belly. Dive over. Go up, hip waist ribs, armpit, neck, head, and side bend towards the chair here. And the hand to the thigh might help you find a little bit more stretch in the inner thigh muscles. We're coming up and side bending away from the chair now. Still dropping that sits bone. You don't want to pick up the hip and tip off your balance. So you want to keep that hip low and then get the stretch of the waist and the ribs. Coming up and one more time towards the chair. Carving the space around you with your body here. And then pull up as high as you can with your head, elongate your spine, and then you tip over and go away from the chair. And you can come back up. And then we'll lower that leg down. And then here again, yeah, wiggle your hips. You even do figure eights, like pull your hips in that figure eight pattern. Does anyone notice, like, does your standing leg feel like it complains a little bit if you're there, just a little too long? But this is designed, the one-legged work like this really makes you stronger in the outer hip, which is really useful. We need that for, things that are really necessary, like walking, as well as like doing unnecessary things like flamingo pose, right? So anyway, so here we go, and we're now going into a lunge. So we're in turn out, and pull the leg up, and you still want to be facing this wall or whatever wall you're facing, and have your chest and your hips aligned. The knee is out to the side on the diagonal. The angle of the knee is the same as the angle of your foot. That will protect your knee. And then as you slide the knee over the toe, you're also pulling your body forward to the wall in front of you. So it's like you're leaning forward from your ankle, and your body's in plank again, head to shoulder to tail to that back heel. And you can push this knee open a little bit more to get more inner thigh stretch. And you might feel it on both inner thighs, depending on what your stance was initially, or what your tightness was initially. Yes, I got some smiles on that one. Yeah, me too, I'm smiling under the mask. And then we can come out and back to stand on your vertical leg, and lunge forward again and push this back. As it drifts forward, and you're leaning forward a little bit, and then we push back some, and we'll do that again. Really good. Come back. And then we'll lower the leg down. Check out your hips. Look, they should be progressively getting a little looser, playing a little bit better as you're still strengthening that standing leg continuously. So here we go, other side. The knee is pointed straight over the center of your foot. Arm to the inside of the leg, push it back a little bit, and then the knee glides in the diagonal, but your body moves forward as well as slightly to the side. And then we pull it back. Go forward again. Lunge into it here. And pull this back. And one more time. And back we go. Lower the foot, lower the leg. Beautiful. All right. Now, from here, we're going to face the back of the chair for a quad stretch. And so you can pick up your knee, you can bring your heel towards your hip, Grab hold of your foot, and then drop the knee down as low as it goes. You could also use a band and wrap it around your foot, like make a loop out of it. The yoga strap will work really well here. And sometimes with the yoga strap, what you do is you take the band and bring it across over the opposite shoulder and hold it from there. Now try here to pull the knee in more medial, right? Because a lot of times the knee goes out to the side like this, and that's what will happen if your IT band is really tight, which they get tight sometimes, right? So you want to try to pull the knee in and feel it stretch laterally across the hip. And if possible, you're getting the heel closer and closer to your sits bone while the knee drops down to the ground. So this will stretch out your psoas muscle, the deep main hip flexor, which comes all the way up to connect to the spine right by the base of the rib cage. And that muscle is going to attach to every single vertebra and intervertebral disc. When it gets too tight, it will not only pull the knee forward, but could also pull the spine into more of a curve, either forward or backwards, depending on which part of it's tight. And then if you want, you could push your foot back into your hand, almost like you're beginning to do like a dancer pose in yoga, right? To get a different place for the stretch. And then let's pull the knee forward and lower it down. Stand. Maybe just breathe and see if your body feels a little bit more open, if it feels a little happier. And we're going to do the other side. Chair. So now right knee up. Get hold of the foot. Drop the knee down. And having a soft focal point far away from you is better for balance than looking at something that's up close. It has to do with the muscles inside the eye, like tightening up and have a soft, you have a close focus. Whereas if you look way out through the windows, out into the trees up here, you'll have a much easier time balancing. When you drops down, you pulls up. You could also push them back a little bit. Should open the shoulder a bit more. And still try to let the knee fall right straight to the floor. And then you can lower the knee, lower the foot. Yeah, good. All right, just shift your weight from side to side and then take a little walk. Just see how you're feeling now. Yes. See if you notice a difference in your feet, in your hips, in your low back. Good. So think from here, we should do a standing swan. We didn't really do very much extension. And we can do it holding on here to the back of the chair. Everyone like their legs more now? And probably your legs like me more now too, right? So for swans, which are upper back extensions in Pilates, similar to like a cobra if you stood upright and did it. Right? We're not going to let the belly go forward. We're not going to let the head just fall back, like carelessly, just overusing these inverse curves of your spine here and here. Instead, you're bring your hands down below the navel, above the pubic bone, pressing gently with your hands into the flesh. And then we're going to start to lift that up. So try to pull the belly muscles up You get to the navel, I think the navel's gonna lift like another half an inch to an inch. You come up, push your hands into the skin, into the muscles, into the flesh, and then you flip your palms up with the thumbs out when you get to the base of your rib cage. So now we're going up with the ribs. For one, then the next one, the next, the next one. When you get to your chest, pick up your chest. And you're not leaning forward, you're straight up like the lower part of your body is against the wall. Take your hands to your sternum, slide up the sternum to the collarbones. Your fingers slide out to the shoulders along their own collarbones. You pull the elbows back down and in. You can lift the stretch a little higher. See if you feel a stretch not only in the muscle in the front of your body, but in the skin. And then you can bring your eyes up and back to wherever your neck feels comfortable. If you want a little bit more stretch to the throat, you might take your thumbs under the occipital ridge at the base of the skull, bring your gaze up a little higher and support your head so it doesn't like compress the neck. It allows it to stretch easily. And then we're going to zip this up from the bottom to the top, like from the pubic bone to the navel, up to the rib cage, to the sternum, until your gaze is on the horizon. And let's do that again. So hands to the belly. I'm going to turn so I can see you here. And you keep this flat. It's like your toothpaste tube being squeezed up here until you want to go backwards over behind you. Press into lift. Coming up with the navel, coming up with the ribs, coming up with the chest. Bring your hands up to the sternum, nice and high. Cross the collarbones. Elbows drop down and squeeze the blades together. Pick up your heart a little bit higher. Look up, let your eyes expand up into an infinite sky above you as you pull the elbows down in. And then you can go a little bit back if that works for you. Again, you can always support your skull. And then zip it from the bottom to the top, coming out. And from this point, with the arms at your side, just notice how tall and lifted you feel. Like your body never wants to compress and collapse. Take the best breath of the day right now. Inhale. And exhale it out slowly. Okay. That's great. And we're good for today. Thank you very, very much.